Rain, growth, drought, fire, and regrowth are all parts of the natural cycle of renewal through fire. Environmental managers are faced with the challenges of a dynamic landscape at a turning point due to global change brought by human action. The changing global climate has sparked awareness of disturbing trends. The 2012-2016 drought was unprecedented in its combination of warmth and dryness. Trends indicate that the federal government wildfire management strategies, past and present, have been inadequate. The growing availability of imagery through remote sensing technology has provided solid evidence that regions of past fire suppression are now experiencing increased fire severity. Wildlife management strategies should shift away from fire suppression approach towards an adaptive resilience approach that focuses on the environment's ability to withstand a wildfire and recover naturally. Government records highlight the role humans play in the ignition of wildfire. Human-started fires account for 84% of all wildfires, tripling the length of the wildfire season. The need to develop a new plan for the coexistence of man with nature is paramount. There must be the allowance for the ecosystem to renew itself naturally while providing a safe habitat for human inhabitants, all while being stewards of species struggling to survive. WFV organization is committed to working with all relevant stakeholders to develop a framework upon which a plan can be applied and revised over time to reach common goals for the common good. The following vision and fundamental objectives will provide the foundation. The vision of WFV is to facilitate the return of California wildlands to a more resilient, sustainable equilibrium for the benefit of all involved, while reducing the threat of catastrophic wildfire to man and the natural environment alike. Three fundamental objectives need to be met to see this vision through. The first is the reduction of excess fire fuels in the environment. The second is to reduce potential sources of ignition from human activity. The third is to create fire-resistant human communities. In an attempt to simulate the natural cycle, the suppression of naturally caused wildfires must be avoided, and the practice of prescribed burns must be employed. Landowners must be educated on enhanced forest plantation management. The physical removal or mastication of underbrush will be used where fire must be suppressed. Send in the goats for targeted grazing. It is so important to mandate the burial of electric transmission lines and further investigate the effects of public safety power shutoffs, and also address the risk of re-energizing power lines after the shutoffs. The Maria fire started moments after re-energizing lines. We must create fire-resistant communities through the education of homeowners, developers, and authorities about fire-resistant landscaping and construction technologies. Officials are investigating the cause of the recent Maria fire. Southern California Edison said it re-energized a power line near the area of the fire shortly before it started in Ventura County. This video from Southern California Edison shows the precise moment the Maria fire ignited. Careful consideration will need to be taken to ensure that all relevant stakeholders will be involved in every step of the decision-making process. A team will be assembled to research current resources so as to build upon and not duplicate existing science. Committees and focus groups will be formed and scheduled to meet regularly with expert, unbiased mediators. Mediation used appropriately can transform conflict and build informed consent. Initial policy regarding fundamental objectives will be formulated and revised based on the results of these meetings. When considering the implementation of policy, scientific models and agent-based simulations will first be developed to predict results. The return of keystone species to areas of disturbance will determine levels of recovery. The appearance of at-risk species will determine its health. Statistical, historical, and empirical data, as well as theory and opinion, will be considered in the development of these models. Agent-based simulation allows for experimentation with policy measures without harming people and the environment. When in the field, randomization, replication, and controls will be used in the spirit of experimental design. The use of simultaneous interventions on different management units will make it possible to compare the effects of one intervention on a management unit against a different intervention on other units. The construction of a geographic information system database for managing and mapping species distribution and environmental data will be necessary to determine the recovery of ecosystems in fire disturbance areas. Once species distribution and environmental data are integrated within the GIS environment, they can be used to develop predictive models of species distribution. Thematic mapper imaging and Landsat time series data can capture the initial disturbance and improve the ability to monitor the subsequent vegetation regeneration. Remote acoustic sensing monitoring of wildlife provides a means of tracking species occurrence across landscapes. Field research and other remote sensing technology will be employed to monitor ecosystem recovery and outline levels of success. The success of this vision will take the efforts of paid professionals and volunteers alike.